Uh, Come on, saints and sinners. Pile on in here, you sinners, as we discuss the Word of God. As we discuss the Word of God in Jesus' holy motherfucking name. Hit the share button, hit the like button. We are having an important discussion tonight. Make sure y'all share this shit. Matter of fact, I'm gonna share one more time. Did it freeze? Hey, question, y'all. I gotta know how that worked. When I just flipped over, did it freeze on y'all? What's up, HH? What's up, Amir Laster? You drunk tonight, brother? Hey, did my shit freeze when I switched over on my phone to the other screen to hit share? Did it freeze? It did? Okay, yeah. See? Yeah, okay. I wasn't sure how y'all got it. What's up, C Diggs? Excuse me, I'm over here burping all into y'all shit. I'm over here drinking wine and smoking reefer. Hey Amir, I gotta know, man, what's that you be on? When you be flipping out on Friday nights? You seem regular tonight. Do you be drunk or you be on drugs? Which one? Or do you just be sober and just acting goddamn crazy? Which one is it, brother? I'm just curious. I ain't judging. Shit, I think you got a dope spirit about you. What's up, Jay Jones? You from Watts? Yeah, Watts, California. Nigga, Wilmington ass nigga. This nigga lives over on Wadsworth. What's up, Dre Day? Hit the share button. I really want to have this conversation tonight about are black men forever guilty? And here's the reason why I'm having this conversation. And again, thank you everybody again for coming in here. Get your t-shirts at hotepish.com. Y'all notice I haven't really been pushing the Hotepish site and the Incense and Ashtray site because I've been trying to get my products merged on the one site, and the plug-in for both of those sites just weren't communicating. So DwannB.com will be live in about I think my web guy said 2 more weeks. It'll be live, DwannB.com. And that's where all my mega store is going to be. And I'm going to have a mega sale when I do that. Press number 1 if you're coming out to the Hidden History Museum comedy show. Got the Hidden History comedy show coming up. I'm going to do my own show again at the Comedy Chateau in April. And then I'm going to do a show in Dallas in May. What's up, Reggie Edwards? Nigga, Reggie Edwards had me over here smoking all kind of reefer until about goddamn midnight last night. That's what's up. Hell yeah, y'all coming? For sure, for sure. Hey, Reggie, don't say nothing in the chat room, but if I told you the conversation we had last night in my garage, the shit I was telling you about, nigga, if I tell you the phone conversation I had today, yeah, man. But Hood Center, why would you be confused? How could you be confused and I haven't even started to discuss my point of view. Now, after I discuss my point of view, if you're still confused, then you can ask some questions and I can see if I can provide some clarity. But you must first let a brother discuss his point of view and opinion before you draw a conclusion of clarity or confusion. Ya dig? Are you gonna go? Hey, let me know, Reggie, if you want to come smoke out this weekend. Let me know. I'll be around the house. I'll be around. If you want to come smoke out this weekend. See how much goddamn weed I had. I got about, yeah. But, so, I'm asking this question, are black men guilty forever? Because I had a discussion on Instagram earlier today. And I had this discussion with somebody who I personally have a fuck ton of love and respect for. We just see things differently. And she was talking about OJ, and she said that, I was talking about the death of Robert Blake, and that, for those of you who don't know, Robert Blake is the white dude that died last week. If you were around in the late 90s, early 2000s, he had one of the most confusing cases. His wife got murdered by his gun, but he said when he left out the restaurant, he didn't have his gun with him. He left his gun on the seat of the restaurant, and when he walked out the restaurant, his wife got murdered. But yes, it was murdered by a gun, but his gun was on the seat of the restaurant, not. And it was this whole confusing thing where basically everybody in the media believed he did it. Even white folks believed he did it. So there was a hung jury, and he ended up not getting, and he ended up later on getting let off. People talked about how, that was a questionable decision, but, we got to respect the court's decision. And that old white man got to live the rest of his life without any Chris Rock jokes, without being called a murderer. Meanwhile, OJ had no evidence against him, but was found guilty in the court of public opinion. Is still seen as guilty. And what I'm saying today isn't about OJ. It's not about Michael Jackson. It's not about R. Kelly. It's not about Bill Cosby. It's not about any individual. It's about a system and a perception by the people. And the only thing I require tonight from people listening, or if you're going to comment, is to remove the people. Let me lay the foundation down. If you don't like any one of these individuals, I don't, and let me say it again, I don't give a fuck. If you don't like OJ or R. Kelly or Michael Jackson, hell, I don't like R. Kelly's music. I never have. I've never been a big fan of OJ. The Cosby Show was never my favorite show. I'm not a big fan of any of these people. I'm a big fan of Michael Jackson. But outside of Michael Jackson, I ain't a big fan of none of these niggas. You hear me? So how I feel about a particular person is irrelevant when it comes to a topic. And the topic is, are black men forever guilty? Whether it be things like Michael Jackson and OJ, we were found innocent of and never even put on trial for and never found innocent of. Or you have the Bill Cosby thing where he was actually put on trial and found guilty and then found out that they broke the Constitution to put him in prison. And then you have the R. Kelly situation to where he's actually in prison. So I'm using these four people because there's a range in outcomes. There was in Michael Jackson's case, investigated by the FBI for over 20 years, 14 different trials or court cases, all dismissed or found innocent of. There's like a wide range of accusations and innocent pleas. I mean, innocent outcomes. There's the Bill Cosby angle to where there's years of accusations. And let me tell you something else about people like Bill Cosby and R. Kelly. I think Bill Cosby did do some foul shit over time. I do, at some point. I think R. Kelly, what he did was in bad taste. R. Kelly was never found guilty of anything dealing with underage, none of that. He was found guilty of RICO laws. And I encourage you to watch 5150 last night and listen to R. Kelly's point of view. But he was putting on RICO laws based on the Mann Act of 1910, Jack Johnson. I was created to put black people in jail for basically. So I strategically chose these 4 people, OJ, put on trial, not guilty. Then ended up spending 9 years in prison for basically getting his own shit back. So OJ, whether or not you agree with the outcome or not of the trial, OJ still spent time in prison. So I'm using a wide range of people because in spite of the wide range of the wide range of circumstances I'm using, everything still comes back to one common denominator. Whether the courts found the black man guilty or not, the public perception is guilty. Whether the court system proved someone guilty and then the court system came back and said, hey, that broke the Constitution, that didn't really happen like that, he's still guilty. And we got to ask ourselves a question. And that's, why is that? What's up, Ebony? What's up with that? What's up with black people and black men specifically being guilty, whether the courts say they're guilty or not? And this is a discussion I'm having with family here tonight. It's not about what white people think. Y'all know me. I don't give a fuck what they think. They gonna think whatever they think. They hate each other, so of course they gonna hate me. I ain't tripping on that. But I am questioning, we as black people, how do we hold the mantle? Oh, what's up, Fumani? He said from Africa. That's what's up. Much love to you. Much love. Got motherfuckers tuning in from Africa and it's C Diggs Beretta. Yep. So what is that? What's behind this? And what can we do to change it? That's the question. I think if you're listening to me, if you're a regular to my show, you already know what's behind it. But what can we do to change it? Ooh, the niggas was racing. That nigga had some turbos. Hey, somebody in the pickup truck just dusted this Mustang. This nigga in the pickup truck just dusted the shit out that Mustang. That pickup truck had some shit in it. Anyway, this nigga, so what's up with this? What can we do how can we fix this? What can we do to change the perception? And here's my offering my opinion on this. What's up, Kenneth Berry? Here's my opinion on this. One thing we can stop doing is, whether we think that person is guilty or not, we can stop bringing it up and talking about it and using black people as the examples, because there are plenty of white examples we can use. Why not use them? Why not Charlie Sheen be the example for them? He admitted to giving people AIDS. Well, I say having sex with AIDS raw. So you got put two and two together. You got Kevin Spacey, you got Les Moonves. Robert Blake just died last week. Beretta just died. And not one nigga ever used him as an example in their little bullshit ass stand-up comedy routines or their movies when it comes to people who are guilty, to associating guilty people that got off free. Every point of data in the world that comes from studying the United States court and prison system say black people, black men specifically, get sent to prison at a disproportionate rate. There are more black people in prison now that are innocent at a disproportionate rate than any other race. Every point of hardcore physical data points towards black men being disproportionately represented when it comes to guilt and prison time. Federal crimes, local, whether it be federal prison, private prison, local jails, local courthouses, up and down the line, from the CDC to the motherfucking United Nations. The UN talks about how the prison rate for black men is a goddamn crime against humanity. So even if you think OJ is guilty, why would you use an old ass example like OJ? That was 4 decades ago. Well, we in the 2020s, 2010s, 2000s, 90s. That was 4 fucking decades ago. The OJ trial happened, nigga. Bill Clinton was president. My grandparents were still alive. Biggie was still alive. Biggie and Tupac saw the result of the OJ trial, nigga. Think about that for a second, folks. This nigga, Tupac, was probably taking a break from drinking Hennessy and recording an album to get an OJ trial verdict. Biggie Smalls was watching the OJ verdict while eating Twinkies. Nigga, the only rapper that was dead by the time OJ was found innocent was Eazy-E. Eazy-E was the only dead rapper when the OJ trial happened. And the motherfucker was alive when it started. Let's think about this shit for a second, people. Now to hear about that, Robert Nelson. But let's just put this all in context. OJ happened. Outkast was still dropping hits. The Dog Pound was rapping about, I don't like to dream about getting paid. I don't like to dream about getting paid. Janet Jackson and Michael Jackson were both on top for the men and the women, respectively. Michael Jordan, when the OJ, think about this shit, when the OJ verdict happened in 1995, Michael Jordan only had 3 championships, not 6. We thought Magic Johnson was gonna die from AIDS any day now, back then. Let's think about this shit for a second, y'all. If y'all don't mind, do y'all mind when I take my time and I be going on my tangents? Just let me know if y'all cool, or do y'all want me to get back on it? I'm just trying to go back to when OJ was on trial. When R. Kelly, let's go back to when we all realized R. Kelly was fucking young ass girls. Age ain't nothing but a number. What year did that drop, y'all? Was it 94 or 95? R. Kelly and Aaliyah. What year was that? That was the same year as OJ, wasn't it? Age ain't nothing but a number. Going down ain't nothing but a thing. AJ, when AJ 94, thanks, spokesman. Age ain't nothing but a number dropped before OJ allegedly murdered his ex-wife, according to them. Even if you agree OJ murdered his ex-wife, age ain't nothing but a number came out before that, nigga. Age ain't nothing but a number dropped before the 1994 earthquake. If you from LA, you remember the 94 earthquake when the 10 freeway fell and the 405. The 10 freeway crumbled right there over Fairfax, nigga. Age ain't nothing but a number. I remember age ain't nothing but a number video playing that next day when the earthquake happened. That next day, we was watching BET after we finished video sold after we finished cleaning up all the down chimneys in our neighborhood, and that video dropped. Yeah, I remember when Nicole's murder, it was around my birthday. I was all around my 12th, 13th birthday, nigga. I remember that. So just in taste, as a black person, why would you go back to something that Michael Jackson's first accusations happened in 93, was it? When those first accusations happened with Michael Jackson? When Michael Jackson's first accusations dropped, we all thought R. Kelly was just an Aaron Hall knockoff, and we wasn't sure if he was going to be better than he was with public announcement. That's some history for your ass. When Michael Jackson's first accusations hit, R. Kelly was fresh off of being with public announcement, and the nigga was looking like an Aaron Hall knockoff. We didn't quite know what we was getting yet with R. Kelly. This is before we realized he was with Aaliyah. This is when we thinking he's just an Aaron Hall knockoff. Think about that. What's up, Denim Soul? Appreciate that. And let me say again, y'all, I appreciate all y'all. I do. You niggas will sit there and listen to me talk. I'm in the dark and shit on this crowded ass, loud ass street I live on, smoking a blunt, drinking wine, and y'all fuck with a nigga. I appreciate y'all, for real. I'll never take you niggas in the chat room for granted, even when I be talking shit. Even you niggas I cuss out. I like cussing niggas out every now and again, so don't take it personal. All right? So, I appreciate y'all, for real, for real. And I hope to see y'all at the Hidden History Museum comedy show. But this nigga says still looks like Aaron Hall knockoff for simple songs. Hey, chill, nigga, chill. I'm not going for the kill shot on this show, y'all. Chill, y'all. I'm not killing these niggas. I'm going to clown another episode. Y'all niggas in the chat room is stupid. You niggas in the chat room is stupid. What's up, Andrew Como? But, Ebony, you sit up in here? But anyway, where was I? I lost my place, y'all. I lost my place. I was trying to fill in time. I lost my place. Where was I at before? Where was I at, y'all? Oh yeah. R. Kelly, and like, when all of this stuff was going on. We got to go back to that time. 1993. Man, that's when Uncle Son was still alive. Uncle Son would be, I'm sorry, Uncle Son was my mom's uncle. We used to call him Uncle Son. He's her great uncle. Uncle Son would be 108 years old. I remember talking to Uncle Son when I was a kid about OJ, about the Michael Jackson accusations, And we didn't talk about R. Kelly because he didn't know who R. Kelly was. But I remember talking to Uncle Son. That was my mom's uncle. They had a house on 74th and Western. That's how you know I'm an LA ass nigga. 74th and Western. I'm a hood. I'm born and raised in a hood ass LA nigga. My parents, where I lived, was the furthest west of anybody I knew. We lived off Crenshaw. Everybody else I knew lived east. But hey, Reggie, chill. Reggie getting mad that somebody don't know who Aaron Hall is. Reggie cuss nigga out. So all this time, yeah, around 73. So the Michael Jackson smoke splitter used to be right off me then, nigga, in the mid 80s. Florence and Hoover. I was off Florence and Western, nigga. I lived in them brown when I was a kid. I lived in smoke splitter. You know them brown apartments on Western and Florence? Our front was 71st, but on the backside, Florence and Western. Remember them apartments? My parents, we lived in them apartments from when I was like 2 to when I was 5. So wait, who is it that said they don't know who Aaron Hall is? But anyway, this is just a context of the times. When Michael Jackson got his first accusations, Martin was on. We was getting out of school, and on Thursday night we was going to watch Martin. On Sunday we was watching In Living Color and The Simpsons. On Thursday we was watching Martin, followed by Living Single. On Wednesday we was watching Doogie Howser, even though I couldn't watch Doogie Howser that much when I was in, because my mom used to always have us in midweek Bible study. So I always missed Doogie Howser, or Doogie Howser would just be going off right when I was getting home from Wednesday night church. You niggas that didn't have to go to church as a kid, y'all lucky. You lucky motherfuckers. My mama had me a Wednesday night Bible study, so I always missed Doogie Howser. Terry Teagle was on, no. Sedale Threatt was on the Lakers. The Lakers had not yet drafted Nick Van Exel. No. That was the year they drafted Nick Van Exel, was the year Michael Jackson had his accusations. I know that because when I was in the 7th grade, when all this shit dropped, I had this white friend named Steven, and his mom worked for the Lakers, and we used to get courtside seats. So James Worthy's last year in the NBA was when the Lakers had Sedale Threatt and Nick Van Exel. And I went to a Lakers-Warriors game. This when the Warriors still had Tim Hardaway. And I sat courtside with my feet on the Great Western Forum floor. That's when Michael Jackson had his accusations. That's when we knew R. Kelly was fucking Aaliyah, and Aaliyah was only 16. And we all knew Bill Cosby. If you guys could look it up, there was an interview with Bill Cosby. I remember it was on CNN. It was a Larry King interview. And I was like, maybe around that same time, early 90s. And Bill Cosby was like, you know how it is. We were the girls, you get a drink, you drop a little something in there, and they get to woo. Bill Cosby made a joke about dropping Spanish butterflies in women's drinks on Larry King. Look that shit up. I don't even know if you can find it on the internet now. But I remember watching that shit live because my dad was watching it. And I remember being mad because my dad was watching Larry King live, and I was trying to watch Nickelodeon to watch Inspector Gadget. You niggas who was around in the early 90s, remember? At 6 o'clock on the West, on Nickelodeon, it was Inspector Gadget, and then you flip over, and no, it was Inspector Gadget, and what other cartoon? Oh yeah, Speedy Gonzales. That was on Nickelodeon at 6 and 6:30. And then, it's like 1993, because then at 7, you flip over to MTV, because Beavis and Butthead would be on. I used to watch. Inspector Gadget, followed by Speedy Gonzalez, and then Beavis and Butthead. But I didn't get to watch Beavis and Butthead and Inspector Gadget because my daddy was watching Bill Cosby on Larry King. And I'm like, fuck. And you niggas that are young now, y'all got your phones and shit. A lot of you niggas in your 30s, y'all had cable in every fucking room. No, the fuck we didn't. Matter of fact, I didn't get cable till I was 9. It was 7 motherfucking channels. Channel 2, 4, 5, 9, 11, and 13. And that was it till I was 9. And then when we got cable, it was only like 10 channels worth looking at. You only had like 40 channels on, and only 10 were worth looking at. And cable was only on one TV. My daddy wasn't about to buy cable. You had to get like a new box for every TV and a new line plugged in. My daddy was mad that he had to buy a motherfucking cable to begin with. He definitely wasn't gonna let me get cable in my room. So I couldn't watch Beavis and Butthead because my daddy wanted to watch Bill Cosby on Larry King. And I remember sitting there mad than a motherfucker. And Bill Cosby talking about putting Spanish butterfly or Spanish fly, whatever, in women's drinks back in the 70s. All I'm saying is, people, we knew all this shit. No, Hood Center, this is before UPN, my brother. Stick with me, my brother. UPN came later. UPN came in 96 with the Wayans brothers and all that shit. That was like 95, 96. There was, look, I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that, Hood Santa, because all these things that we're still talking about today in 2023 were things that were discussed before the UPN network came out. Let's put that in context. I'm giving context to the people because sometimes we have short memories. Those of us who are around, we can easily forget. And there are a lot of young people out there who weren't around, so you won't remember. Or either like you were too young to remember. A lot of you niggas was born in 1990. You know what I mean? So you're too young to remember. And some of you people weren't born at all. So, Rob Trimble. Yeah, I remember Homeboys Not a Space. All these accusations we talking about were known when Homeboys in Outer Space was a new TV show. When Homeboys in Outer Space was a pilot, we all knew R. Kelly was fucking teenage girls because he was fucking Aaliyah. Michael Jackson had accusations that none of us believed. Bill Cosby had said on Larry King that he dropped Spanish butterfly in bitches in them Hollywood broads' drinks. And OJ was running. We knew about all this shit before there was a thing called UPN Network or Homeboys Not a Space. We knew about all this shit. All right? Y'all know my point in my discussions I have here, people who follow me regularly. My only job is to spur questions and let us think about things. That's my only agenda is to say, hey, I don't care what you think, just think. That's my only agenda. I don't care if you agree with me or not. You know what I mean? I respect your perspective. But Robert Nelson said, I had the Vibe magazine when the R. Kelly story broke. Yeah. So, why are we having these discussions? Why are these people still seen as guilty? When Robert Blake, everything that happened, the whole Robert Blake trial happened around the same time R. Kelly video came out pissing on that gal. Chat room, back me up. You know me, I do this show off the top of my head. So chat room, verify what I'm saying. The first Robert Blake trial, or well, not even the trial, the incident where his wife was murdered, and the R. Kelly tape dropping. That was all 98, 99, if I'm not mistaken. That was all late high school for me. Early college, late high school. So Robert Blake and Phil Spector was a big thing around that time too. Music producer Phil Spector, he killed his wife. He killed not his wife, but a girl in his house around that same time. Oh, you said the tape was 02? Okay. No, the tape wasn't 02. The tape came out before 02. The tape came out before 02. Okay, say the tape dropped in 02. Okay, when was Phil Spector? Google the Phil Spector trial and Google Robert Blake. Let's go with 02 for the tape. We're still talking 21 years ago. It was somebody that was born the day that tape dropped, and now they're at legal age to drink. Think about that for a moment. Oh yeah, filmed in 99, that's what it was. Filmed in 99. I knew 99 was somewhere around there because, yeah, Frank Green, yeah, thank you for that. Because I knew the tape came out. I remember there were rumors of the tape before people actually saw the tape. We all heard about it before people saw it. And me personally, to this day, I still haven't seen the tape. I'm not going to look at somebody get pissed on. All you got to do is tell me a nigga pissed on somebody, and that's all I need to know. I don't need to watch. So till this day, DwannBrown has never seen the R. Kelly piss on you tape. Thank y'all. So, yeah, you're right. They're talking about the R. Kelly in the barbershop movie, and that came out in 02. So, this is context, everybody. I know I can sometimes be long-winded, but I do this for a reason. America tells me short form content is the best. America tells me people have short attention spans. And all that may be true. But I do believe there are people out there who have attention spans and want more information. And for those of us who are out there like that, I like to be as detailed as possible when I give out information. And I think context is big, because what do I always tell you guys? I always speak from the anthropological point of view. Cultures and cultural norms shift in societies every 20 to 25 years. In American society, cultures and cultural norms shift every 20 to 25 years. I remember having a conversation with my father-in-law about a year ago, and he talked about how, like, when 1960 hit, women just started fucking and sucking, because he was born in 1941. And so he talked about all throughout the 40s and the 50s, women were very conservative. But it was something about, like, when 1960 hit, women just was like, fuck all this conservative shit. We dropping these draws. And he basically talked about how easy the draws became in the 60s. Culture shift. There was a cultural shift in the 80s when Reagan hit office. My father always talks about when Reagan got in office. When Reagan got in office, and my father-in-law too, he talked about how, like, when Reagan got in office, like, everything became big and people started spending money. The generation before, the generation of the Great Depression, they saved every penny. If you know anyone or have a grandparent that's a child of the Great Depression, they saved every penny that they had. Versus the baby boomers, when they got to the 80s, the culture shift. It went from save, conserve, to spend it all. We're in the 80s. And then 9/11 hit. And all of us who were around during the times that I'm speaking of with OJ and stuff, When 9/11 hit, 9/11 was there was life pre 9/11 and life post 9/11. No matter how much you want to fake the funk, you cannot measure the difference between lifestyle and cultural norms pre 9/11 to post 9/11. Pre 9/11 was a far more free time in this country. You could really just move all across this bitch without checkpoints, without long waits and a fee for this, a fee for that, baggage fee, and this and that, and more rules, surveillance. And then there's the coronavirus of 2020. I'm saying all that to say culture shifts every 20 years. So whenever we're talking about something that happened at a point in time in life, we have to always talk about the culture that was going on around that time. And that's the only way that we can have a somewhat accurate takeaway from any discussion during a time period. You have to bring in as much context to what was going on at that time. And at the time, we knew about all these niggas doing what they doing. Nigga, Karl Malone was still in the NBA. That's your boy, Reginald Edwards. That's your boy. Nigga, Wesley Snipes and Denzel Washington was on top of the world. Eddie Murphy was still making funny ass movies every year. 2 a year sometimes. It was a different time. He said gas was 89. Shit, gas was 50 cents. Shit. So now Nubian DNA, I don't know about family sat down at the dinner table together. My parents, we never sat down at the dinner table together. And my parents are still married. Shit. My mama got her food and went in the room so she could talk on the phone and watch. My mom went in the room because my mom used to watch TBN, the Gospel Network, Channel 40. My mom would get her food, go in the room, and watch Reverend Fred Price on Channel 40 and Carlton Pierce. My dad got his food, sat in front of the TV and watched the Lakers. And we got our food, took it in the room, and played our Sega Genesis. Shit. But anyway, what's up, Jake? What up? You right, Jazz. Man, only on holidays. Holidays is the only time we sat at that table. But, so, I'm saying that to say, we had the whole situation that we're talking about. Are black men guilty? Are we always guilty? I went around that long loop to bring it back to this point. We lived in a world that's been changed twice over since it's been understood that Bill Cosby himself admitted that he dropped Spanish flies in drinks. Because another reason why I know that's so true, I remember my mom and my dad and like my family having discussions when I was young. That's why I love my parents. I want to see my mama I'm so mad. I want to see my mommy and daddy so bad right now. But my parents got the goddamn coronavirus last week, and they've been like, well, my dad don't got. My mom got the virus, and she been like, stay away. She feeling good though. But man, shit. And making my mom feel better, probably tomorrow, I'm gonna go kick it with my parents. I'm lucky my parents are still alive. I love my parents. My parents came out to my show. Hey, y'all know what's dope? After my show I had a couple weeks ago at the Comedy Chateau, that was my dad's 70th birthday. And my dad called me the next day and was like, man, I thank you for that show. I enjoyed myself. He said that was a great way because my dad, he was scared of me calling him out because my dad hates attention. So he didn't want the spotlight. So he was scared that I was going to give him a spotlight. And I acknowledged his birthday, but I didn't point him out. And my dad called me the next day, and he was like so thankful that he came. And he was like, I ain't know Larry was that fuck. My dad loved Larry. I don't know why, but my dad loved Larry. And he loved Slink, punk ass. Fuck Slink. But Slink Johnson back Black Jesus, because my dad met Slink a few times over my house. And he loved that nigga Slink. And my dad was like, man, they was so goddamn funny. And then my mom called me. My mom don't listen to shit. My mom don't even like Eddie Murphy's comedy. My mom ain't into comedy. My mom is not into music. My mom ain't into none of that shit. Don't nothing impress my mom. Actors, actresses. My mom ain't impressed by nobody. She don't care at all. My mom just want to have a good time. My mom ain't impressed by nothing celebrity, nothing impresses my mom. But my mom had a good time in my show. And my mom was so thankful she got to meet Tashina. Like Tashina made such a great impression on my mom. My mom called me and was like, man, and she was so nice. Oh my gosh, she was so nice. And my mom don't even fuck with celebrities at all. That felt great. But back to this discussion. The world has changed twice over since all of these people we're talking about. Oh, what's up, Mar? Yeah, my dad was, my dad loved that shit. But anyway, the world has changed over. We've had 9/11 and the coronavirus. In 93, when the accusations hit Michael Jackson and we knew Bill Cosby was dropping Spanish butterflies, rap was still conscious. X-Clan was still on top. To the east, my brother, to the east. Nas hadn't released in 90. We knew about Michael Jackson being accused before Nas released Whose World Is This? The world is mine. The world is mine. Whose world is this? That hadn't dropped yet. Think about that. We knew about R. Kelly fucking young teenage girls before Lauryn Hill dropped the X Factor. We didn't know who Erykah Badu was yet. We didn't know who Jill Scott was yet when all these accusations hit. Usher was a teenage rapper when this happened. We didn't know Usher would become the megastar he was becoming. He was a little monkey-faced teenage rapper. We didn't even know what the nigga sang. He rapped. We didn't know who Destiny's Child was or Beyonce. Brand Nubians was hot. Right, Mark? Nigga, let's think about this for a second. We knew about Bill Cosby and Michael Jackson's accusations before the World Trade Center was bombed for the first time. We knew about that before the Oklahoma City bombing in 1995. So my question is a black man forever guilty? It all comes back to how we started the show. A lot of y'all may be thinking, DeWan, was show going off his rocker? Where? I thought we was talking about forever guilty. I have to talk about all that. Because I have to bring in as much context as I can bring in to ask one simple question. Whether through life, OJ is still living, Bill Cosby is still living, Michael Jackson is dead. So whether through life or death, is the black man guilty? Hood Center, let's make something very clear. I never listened to Immature. I hated Immature the moment they dropped. I hate it. I liked the last two kid groups that I liked was Crisscross and Another Bad Creation. Aisha, you are the girl that I never had. That was my shit. Jump, jump. I missed the bus. That's my shit. Those were the last two kid groups that I liked. By the time Immature, I hated Immature. And I hated B2K even more. The Boys was the last kid group that I liked. I love the Boys, nigga. Down my heart. That was my shit, nigga. The Boys. I remember when it was on Star Search. And then I remember when Down My Heart came out. That was my shit. Fuck what y'all talk about. Fuck what y'all talk about. This nigga said your brother still talk about seeing Crisscross in concert? Nigga, I hated Immature though. Y'all remember that group? What was their name? Faces. They had a song called, it was a girl group. They had a song called The Boy Makes Me Say Yeah, Yeah, Yeah. Remember that group, Faces? They came to my elementary school. That shit was dope. No, not Changing Faces. Changing Faces was Keith Sweat group. They had that song, Do You Mind If I Stroke You Up? And that song dropped right around the time a nigga balls dropped. That song by Changing Faces dropped right when the nigga hit puberty. I felt some kind of way when that song dropped. I was like, what's this tingling I feel? I don't mind. That's a different group. Changing Faces, I'll never forget when that song dropped. That song dropped, and the woman who I call my wife now, I had just met her in the 7th grade when that song dropped. And that was right around the time, I always liked girls my whole life, but that was right around the time my nuts started tingling. And y'all, every man know what I'm talking about that time of your life. You like, what the fuck is this? You sitting in math class. I remember sitting on the overright patio, seeing my now wife walk by, thinking like, God damn, what's this that I'm feeling right now? That was all around the time that Changing Faces dropped. What do you mind? Yeah, that was a time for me in my life. I'm a real ass nigga. Y'all know me. I don't play these internet games. If you meet me in person, nigga, I'm this nigga right here. I'm not any different. Now, I'm not gonna tell you everything about me, of course, but yeah, I don't play games like I'm some perfect ass nigga that just because I'm smart and I could teach you niggas a thing or two, I'm not about to sit here and play like I'm nigga. Nah, that song dropped when my nuts dropped. I'm like, what's this shit? I'm like, what's this shit? Like, what am I feeling right now? And why am I feeling like this in homeroom? That's what I'm trying to figure out when that song dropped. Nigga. But, and you know what? I be laughing at my wife, because me and my wife, even though it's crazy how things can be, and I'm going to get back to the topic. It's crazy how things can be. Me and my wife were raised like 8 miles apart in 2 totally different worlds. Like, my wife was like a fucking like little rich kid and shit, but still raised in an all-black environment. That show you black people ain't all destitute. Again, to show you, is a black man always guilty? Like, she was raised over in the good side of town, where the rich niggas lived. And I remember, same thing with OJ. See, think about the black side of town, the View Park, Ladera Heights, Baldwin Hill side of town. The black people over there are, even though they got a little bit of bread, they're still pretty militant. one thing I will say, they're still pretty militant. But I was laughing because my wife went to her school over in Ladera Heights. All the niggas with bread still lived. That's when black people still lived around black people. So she had like the fucking president of Motown that lived in her neighborhood. So this Gerald Busby, if y'all watch that New Edition documentary, they talk about Gerald Busby. Like Gerald Busby lived over like in Ladera Heights. So like in my wife's elementary school, they used to get like, I think Immature went there. Like every group that would come to Motown, they would like go to her elementary school. So like her elementary school had like all of like the hot acts. I'd be like, man, I'd be listening to her stories when she was a kid. I'd be like, man, please. I grew up in the hood. We only had one group come to our school, and that was Faces. You lived in a neighborhood where Gerald Busby lived down the street and around the corner, and his kids went to your school, so you had every fucking body there. That's one thing about growing up in L.A. That's like a normal story in L.A. Like I always laugh. My wife always rolls her eyes at me when I tell this story. I be laughing because my wife, when she was in elementary school, she took a Grammy to elementary school to show and tell one day. Like, that's how little Mr. Carmichael gave a fuck about winning a Grammy. But it's been crazy. We grew up 8 miles apart, two totally different worlds, same city, same area code to our phone numbers. So that's just a quick little context to how even within, like if you're speaking about history, because why did I say all that? I gave a personal testimony. Why did I give that personal testimony? Because when we're looking back at history and when we're looking back at time, not only do you have a greater time for the country within a whole, you also can break things down to cities. And then once you break it down to a city, you can break it down to what side of the city you were on. Me and my wife grew up in two totally different worlds in the same fucking city, same area code to our phone numbers. That's why I'm saying all that to say whenever we're having these discussions on history, I don't like to argue with people. And that's why if you notice my chat room, and again, salute to the chat room, I appreciate y'all. It ain't a whole lot of arguing going on because I have really good moderators that that minimize that. And I think I try to bring an energy to the channel that I really don't want to argue with anyone, but I'd rather have a discussion and maybe whatever I'm saying you can consider with whatever your point of view is, and whatever you saying, maybe I can consider with my point of view whenever I decide to look at the chat room every 20 minutes. But you have to always consider that when looking at history, when looking at times in the past. There's a lot of things going on. So with that being said, I know me and her grew up in two different worlds, but we still saw this OJ thing, we still saw this Michael Jackson thing, and the different sides of town, different points of views, we still saw this as a thing. And it's kind of weird when way after those times are over with, we live in a world that's flipped over twice, 2.5 times since then, and a black man is still guilty. When we look back at history, when we look back at times, we don't argue with each other. We compare notes. I talk about it from my point of view. You know it from your point of view. You talk about it to another friend from their point of view. And the key is to compare notes, not to argue with one another. And I say that as a great debater. I was on the debate team in college. When it comes to debate, I'd challenge anybody on the internet in a debate. I'd win. But what's the point? If I was on the internet in my 20s and 30s talking this same shit, I probably would want to debate people because my ego needed that gratification and I was insecure within my knowledge base. So I had to debate people. You only debate when you have a certain level of insecurity in your, internet debate. I'm not talking about official debate. An official debate is to exchange, even an official debate is to exchange information. But these online debates, they're all born out of insecurity, you know? So you don't debate. I gave a personal testimony to say that even sometimes when you live in the same world, same environment, seemingly, me and my wife went to the same school from 7th grade to 12th grade. Still lived in two different worlds in some ways, and we're both black Americans raised in Los Angeles, California. So again, you don't debate people when it comes to talking about the past. You talk about your point of view, you listen to their point of view, and you synthesize the information and create your perspective. And that's what I try to do here in my show. So you know what I mean? You're right, context is key. We gotta have context of this stuff. Are black men forever guilty? I know y'all probably expect me to talk more and more about the individuals that you see on the thumbnail. But that's why I started tonight's show talking about it's not about the people on the thumbnail. It's about a greater question. Are black men forever guilty? And those people are just famous faces. But when we dig deeper, when black men do things in their teens and their 20s that they spent time for in prison, again, I'm not including people who are fucking rapists. I don't fuck with rapists. I don't do that. But people who did like regular gangbanger crimes, robbing a liquor store or selling drugs, do they have to wear that jacket the rest of their life because they sold drugs 20 years ago? I've even evolved on my point of view when it comes to pimping and hoeing. If you talk to me 2 years ago and anytime before 2 years ago, I'm super judgmental of pimps, hate them, can't stand them, and I'm every bit as judgmental of hoes and hookers. I'm thinking that they're just the most degenerates of society. But in the last 2 years, I've had great conversations with both former hookers and former pimps. I got some pimps that listen to me now. Salute to you. Y'all know who y'all are. I've had conversations with them and I listen to them speaking from their point of view in their world. And then I match that with basically just the law of nature, law of duality. If hoes exist, pimps are going to exist. That's just what it is. If Johns exist, hoes are going to exist. If tricks exist, pimps are going to exist. And in life, everybody lives their life at different vibrations and planes. Am I somebody have I ever bought a hoe? Hell motherfucking no. Never will. Back when I was single, my ego wanted to know that. Back when I was single, I wouldn't so much as get a woman drunk before I did what I had to do. Because my ego had to know that was me, DwannBrown, getting the thing done. But there's cats out there who don't want to go through all that. They want to pay whatever X amount of dollars to get what they get. And then I was talking to this one pimp dude, former pimp, I should say, he's not a pimp anymore. But he said it was like, he gets a lot of these rich executives who they have this whatever social anxiety around women, but they can come to him and tell him whatever desires that he wants to get from the woman. And he can communicate that to the woman. This is some weird thing that goes on. And when he broke that down, I I remember like doing counseling sessions with people who had these levels of anxieties talking to the opposite sex. So I know those anxieties exist. And what that listening to this person speak, what that did was it gave me a different perspective. I was like, well, there's a whole group of people who agree to these services. All businesses require 3 people. For every business requires 3 things: a supplier, a salesman, and a purchaser. All business requires those 3 components: a supplier, something that's supplied to something that to a sale that's tied to a sales team or person that connects to a buyer. And it's a lot of weird ass motherfuckers out there. So when I heard, when I heard from the hooker, I heard from a former hooker. She was like, you know, when you out there in them streets, you need a level of protection. Or maybe you don't maybe these guys would never necessarily come to you because they have social anxieties. So they go to this neutral person. And so when I heard it from that point of view, I was just like, okay. Still fucking weird to me. But if it works for so many millions of people, it is what it is. Why did I say all that? I was having a conversation with, what's up, Butter Love? I was having a conversation with, I was recently having a conversation with someone, with my wife today. Me and my wife were talking about the whole R. Kelly thing. And how it's just common in that entertainment industry, as unfortunate as it is. Again, we got to talk about the world the way it is, not the way we want it to be. But we're talking about how common it is that parents basically sell their children to these sick-ass, corny-ass entertainers. And how that's a whole environment within its own, the whole entertainment industry. Not just music, acting too. The whole entertainment industry. You basically have parents that line up to sell their kids to entertainers. Courtney Love talks about her parents knowing that she fucked Ted Nugent when she was 12. This is in a very sick-ass environment. Hollywood is full of sick-ass people. Sick-ass parents, sick-ass agents and managers and network executives, Les Moonves, Stone Phillips. You got all these stupid-ass, nigga-ass entertainers talking about OJ, and they said a motherfucking thing about Stone Phillips. He gave us the news. Bill O'Reilly spent a whole career on the news talking shit about black people. Bill O'Reilly never missed an opportunity to talk to shit on black people. And not one of these nigga-ass entertainers want to use him as an example when he was the motherfucking face of the Me Too movement over at Fox News. And his boss, Roger Ailes. Roger Ailes and Bill O'Reilly over at Fox News was doing some foul shit separately. But y'all want to bring up some people who were accused back when Michael Jordan retired the first time. Let's think about that. Are black men forever guilty? What's up, Quan? Miles came in. Okay, yeah. Now it's a party. Hey, mods. Y'all, I thought about this for T Dynamite and Quan. Y'all might want to unsubscribe from this channel and then resubscribe. And that's for everybody who don't get notifications. Unsubscribe now and resubscribe and hit the notifications. If you're subscribed and you don't get notifications, unsubscribe from this channel, then resubscribe to this channel and hit your notification bell and see if you get your notifications, see if that works. And then when you unsubscribe and resubscribe, just come back in the chat room, and if you're not still a moderator, I'll make you a mod again. But yeah, if you don't get notifications, unsubscribe and resubscribe. Yeah, what's up, Quad Man? So I just want to have that. We got to have these discussions because I'm talking in long form because I really want to etch in our mind when we see other black people use OJ, Michael Jackson, R. Kelly as examples. We got to just really embody the fact that they're reaching back to examples that we knew and understood when Saved by the Bell, the college years were on TV. Y'all remember them corny ass Saved by the Bell college years episodes? Steve Urkel was the hottest nigga on Friday nights. Okay, y'all back. Okay, y'all still got y'all mod tags. Okay, cool. So we gotta remember that. We gotta remember that. And we, the open-minded minority that really care about black people first over anything, we got to be the ones that check that behavior. I'm not saying check to the point to where you fall out with people, but just let people know, hey, brother, we passed that. Hey, sister, we passed that. You no more, no. I don't care how you feel, but you're perpetuating the stereotype that the black person, the black man, is the super predator of the planet, when all of the hardcore data shows that the black man is the biggest victim of the laws and the injustice system. How can those two things exist in the same world? How can a black man be the face of criminality? At the same time, he's the face of escaping justice. Excuse me. How do those two things exist at the same time? How can the black man be the face of criminality, the most convicted to the point where the United Nations and every publication says is basically a crime against humanity at the punitive nature of America towards black men? How can we have this hardcore scientific evidence in the same world the black man is the face of the person that escapes justice. That's right, Jay Carter. It's Candyland like a motherfucker, nigga. You ain't never lied, brother. It's Candyland, nigga. Anything goes, you fucking niggers. So I always weave back to my point. As a black man forever guilty, and what can we do to stop this madness? I've been needling in on the same point. For you slow niggas who ain't got it yet, let me say it again for the infinite time. We can start by just not participating in the narrative, in the bullshit. If we're going to use someone's face as the face for guilt, we have no shortage. We got Bush. Y'all remember how much of a degenerate President Bush was? You got Donald Trump that said he grabbed him by the pussy. You got Joe Biden, every time you see a video of him getting close to the kids, you see the kids' faces cringe. Google it, nigga, if you think I'm bullshitting. Just go on YouTube and look up this YouTube children's faces when Joe Biden is close. The children know, the children understand. You let Charlie Sheen get a pass, you let Brett Favre get a pass. Bill O'Reilly, going back to Bill O'Reilly, bitch ass. You gonna skip over all of those people? Shit. And Bill O'Reilly, when his accusations came out, think about this shit. Bill O'Reilly's accusations came out, what was that, 2016, 2017? Bill O'Reilly's accusations came out 13 years after Outkast's last album. We knew of Michael Jackson's accusations and Bill Cosby's accusations before Outkast's first album came out. Let's use Outkast as the measuring stick. We knew about this shit when Outkast first dropped. Bill O'Reilly's accusations came out 13 years after Outkast's last album, and that was still last decade when Bill O'Reilly's accusations came out. That's context for your monkey ass. Hit the Cash App, $DwannBrown. If you feel me, please. If you feel me, hit the Cash App, $DwannBrown. You feel me? I appreciate that, Quan. What we can do is just pull back. However you feel about OJ guilty or not, you don't have to help them folks keep our folks as the face of people who get away with crimes. In a world, Brett Favre still has yet to pay for his crime. That's all I'm saying. Is that a reasonable expectation? Chat room, let me know. If that's a reasonable expectation, if that's a reasonable request, give me the thumbs up or the number 1, whatever you choose. If it's not a reasonable request, the number 2 and a thumbs down. I'm asking for something that's reasonable. I don't think that's, even a hard thing to do. I could get a lot deeper, but it's no need to. Is a black man forever guilty? And what can we do to change the perception? Is my offering just by pulling back and not jumping in the fray when a black man is the face of something guilty, regardless of how you feel about that black person? Because again, like I said before, I don't like R. Kelly music. I never have. I like 12 Play a little bit. My favorite R. Kelly song is actually Public Announcement. Get me that honey love. Why is a nigga singing like that on Honey Love? Get me that honey love. That's my favorite R. Kelly song. I'm gonna have you love, baby. When that nigga had a flat top. Matter of fact, all you gotta do is look at the Honey Love album cover. R. Kelly looked like he looked like the kind of nigga that would slap a woman. That nigga looked like he was ready to discipline his girl on that album cover. Go look at the Public Announcement album, the cover for the single for Honey Love. R. Kelly sitting there with a flat top with his hands on his hip. R. Kelly looking like, bitch, if you don't shut up and come here. That's the only R. Kelly. That's my favorite R. Kelly song. Get me that honey love. Nigga, my second favorite R. Kelly song is Step in the Name of Love. Like, I love that shit. I remember that Step in the Name of Love came out around the time he was pissing on that girl. I remember I was in college. I fucks with Happy People, and Stepping in the Name of Love. And Bump and Grind are my 3 favorite R. Kelly songs. But my favorite R. Kelly song is still Get Me That Honey Love. Outside of that, I don't really fuck with R. Kelly's music. Saying about R. Kelly. The Cosby Show was corny to me when I was 8. When I was 8 years old, I was like, man, why do Bill Cosby wear the same sweaters as Wesley on Mr. Belvedere? I used to think this shit when I was 9. I'd be like, Mr. Cosby and Wesley on Mr. Belvedere be wearing the same sweaters. Why that nigga got something? Because I hate it. When I was a kid, I hated when my mama got me a sweater for Christmas. Hey, for fellas out there, wasn't that like a wasted Christmas gift when you was a kid, when you was like 19 years old? When like you got a sweater, you be like, thanks, Mom. Thank you for the sweater. Woo-wee, I got a sweater. I'm like, Mama, if you don't save that sweater money and give me a Ninja Turtle action figure instead, come on, Mama. You're right, you never wore your sweater. So when I was a kid, I'd be like, why do Bill Cosby and Adam from Mr. Belvedere always got the newest sweaters? And why is Theo so goddamn corny? Theo was always corny to me. The 2 corniest niggas on TV to me was Theo, Huxtable, and Eddie Winslow. Matter of fact, my favorite episode of Family Matters was when Eddie Winslow got his ass whooped by the Dragons. Y'all remember that episode? I remember being a kid thinking like, yes, somebody finally whooped Eddie's ass. Eddie's corny. Like, I know Stephen Urkel is supposed to be the corny nerd, but from my perspective, I was a huge Family Matters fan when I was a kid. I love Family Matters. I personally always thought Eddie Winslow was more corny than Steve Urkel. Dad, you're gonna ruin my date with Daylene. Oh my God, I'm gonna have a date with Jaylene. Whatever the fuck his girlfriend's name was. I hated Eddie Winslow. I hated, man, that was the corniest ass nigga on TV. I'd be like, man, let me watch Martin so I could watch this nigga's corniness off. So, Waldo, I liked Waldo. See, but I knew Waldo was a sissy back then. See, Waldo lived in Compton, and my cousin Stanley lived in Compton. And like Waldo lived, I don't know if he lived there or he would visit somebody who was on the same block as my cousin Stanley, or the same neighborhood. And I remember he used to be like, he used to see Waldo, and he was like, you know how old niggas talk back then, old people, black people, folks talk? He was like, you know, Waldo a little, you know, old black people, they get their hand and they kind of like, no, he's little. And they kind of get their hand a little fuddy-duddy. Yeah, you're right, but he was sweet. She said he was sweet like licorice stand. You goddamn right he was. I don't know if he was from Compton, or he lived in Compton. I don't know where he was from, but I just remember him. My cousin Stanley used to always see him. He was like, yeah, he got his BMW, but he a little. So, again, all this shit was going on, and I'm talking all 80% of the shows tonight has been about what chat room has been about the 90s. And bringing a context into our black men forever guilty. And what can we do to change this status quo narrative? And the solution, I'm going to make it very simple tonight. It can get deeper, but we got to start first things first. The first thing is to just not perpetuate the bullshit narrative. Like I started the show, Robert Blake died in peace. With the worst fucking alibi ever that nobody believed, not even white folks. But he still got to die in peace. But a black man like Michael Jackson, who's been either put up on trial or filed upon 14 different times, got off all 14 times, was investigated by the FBI for 20 years. Nothing, they couldn't find nothing, but he's guilty. So in the midst of all this black girl magic talk, believe all women and all the narratives that they're trying to push right now, nigga, is somebody gonna believe black men? You dig? And that's why we're checking those kind of niggas. I always have to ask you why. If I ever ask you guys to do something, always ask me why. Because usually I'm gonna give it to you before you even ask. Because it's in our hands to change our perception and how we're perceived. That's in our power. And it starts with how we perceive ourselves. And then once we perceive ourselves accurately, the world will buy into the definition of what we perceive. Like they're doing right now. We perceive ourselves collectively, not individually, but collectively. We perceive ourselves as You know, I lost my goddamn train of thought. I said perception. Like, like we have a different perception of self, you know? But one thing we gotta do is, this nigga talking about Dragon Ball Z in the chat room. The fuck? Amir, you please gotta, you gotta send me that moonshine you drinking, nigga. What's up, Ebony? I put Ebony in as a mod that she bounced about this motherfucker. Ebony and Mark. Again, now that y'all got modded up, Ebony and Mark, YouTube probably gonna stop sending out notifications to y'all because YouTube don't, for whatever reason, don't like sending notifications to my mods. So you might have to, if you ain't getting notifications, unsubscribe and resubscribe and then hit the notification bell. But that's just where we at, yo. You know what I mean? Perception. How can we change the perception? I'm making the solution very simple. One step at a time. One step at a time. Stop participating in the bullshit. And if you want to use someone's face, someone as the face for injustice, we have no shortage of them. Did George Washington ever get called to justice, nigga? For making slavery permanent? Slavery wasn't supposed to be permanent. George Washington made it permanent in this new United States country at the time. Thomas Jefferson, forgive him, on them $20 bills. You want to cancel R. Kelly and not buy his CDs or whatever, his music, but you're still willing to use a $20 bill for the craziest genocidal maniac? Thomas Jefferson was far more genocidal than Adolf Hitler. So where do you draw the line? I'm just asking questions so we can have these things in the back of our mind when we face other people who have these talking points to say these things. Or even if you're not fake, because I don't believe in arguing with people, but just as long as you have it in the back of your mind and you can use this information to filter out the BS. You're right, selective convenient outrage. I'm about to get the F on out of here. Who's coming to the show? If I do a show in Dallas in May, who's coming? Press number 1. I'm thinking about throwing a show around the same time as the FBA conference. Like that Friday before. Press number 1 if y'all coming. That's it. Hell yeah. I see you down there. That's what I mean, Quan. I want to do one. I'm doing Tariq's Museum next month. I mean, this month, 2 weeks. And then next month, I'm going to do my own show again, the Comedy Chateau again, here in LA. And in Dallas, in May, I want to do Dallas. I want to do a show in Dallas in May. Who's going to Dallas? Yeah, March 25th in LA. Hey, brother, love you. Are you going to the museum thing? The museum comedy show? The museum comedy show with Tariq. Get y'all tickets now. That's going to be Kamira White, Precious Hall, Reuben Warren, and Screw Roy Rice. Yeah, I know Screw. If you're in LA, you may be there in LA. Hey, Biz Marty, if you come to the show, Nigga, come up to me and announce yourself, nigga. That's the only way I'm gonna give you a fucking mod wrench, nigga. Hey, Bismarck T, I gave 2 more motherfuckers in here a mod wrench, nigga. Not you, cause you ain't shit with the shit you be saying. Fuck you, nigga. Hey, yeah, Mark, come say what's up at the show, man. Hell yeah, J. Carter, LA folks. Nigga, we don't pay this high ass rent to not live this lifestyle that we live in LA, nigga. Come on. Come on, bruh. All right, brother love, it'd be dope. Yeah, come on out there. Yeah, we all hang out, cause like after the show, I'm gonna hang around the mixer and just be kicking it with everybody. Shit, fuck all that. Nigga, cause I'm gonna be drinking while I'm on stage hosting. I'm gonna be drinking an old fashioned. Y'all gonna see me on stage drinking an old fashioned. And so by the time the show's over with, I'm gonna be nice and lit. And we gonna be having a good time. Only thing I'm gonna do is when the show's over with, I'm just gonna probably have to leave out, dip around the corner, smoke my weed. I'm not gonna disrespect Tariq's museum and smoke weed in his museum. I'm not gonna do that to that brother. Got too much respect for him and what he got going on. I'm not gonna do that to his museum. But what I will do is take my ass down the street to my car and light that blunt. And then when I'm satisfied, I'm gonna walk back to the museum and I'm gonna kick it. Hey, Jay Jones, French Connection. Nigga, toast to you, my nigga. Yes. I'm gonna get an old fashioned, and if you there, you gonna get a French Connection, and we gonna toast. But only after I walk to my car and smoke my blunt. Oh, what's up, Tasha Ray? Oh, shit, Tasha. Tasha up in here. I'm honored. Hey, Tasha. If I don't call you, Tasha, tomorrow, by like 9 in the morning, call me, all right? I got to give you an update. The date is March 25th. March 25th, Hidden History Museum. Hidden History Museum. That show is going to be fire. And then I'm going to follow it up again with my own show in May. In April at the Comedy Chateau. We're going to be back at the Comedy Chateau. Man, when I'm back at the Comedy Chateau, I got a whole different lineup than I got. So, y'all, look, Mark by Smith, I'm going to want to see you there, bruh. I'm going to want to see you there. The Comedy Chateau, the following month in April. I'm going to have a whole different lineup. Larry going to fly back out from Houston for my show in April at the Comedy Chateau. That's going to be me and Larry again. And I'm going to have all different jokes, all kind of new different shit. And then in May, I'm going to do a show. Hey, chat room, for those of you who are going to be in Dallas in May for the event, for the Hidden History event, if I do a show in Lancaster, I'm looking at a cigar lounge in Lancaster. Or Lancaster. I'm an LA nigga. I'm not going to say this shit like you Dallas niggas. I'm an LA nigga. Lancaster, Dallas. I know you Dallas niggas say Lancaster. I'm an LA nigga, so it's Lancaster. Would you niggas come out to a Friday night show at a cigar lounge in Lancaster, Dallas? Friday, May 26th. Press the number 1. If you'll come out to Lancaster, nigga, not Lancaster. Lancaster. Nigga. You think that's right, Brother Love. She said they pronounced that dumb. I remember I got cousins that live in Lancaster, whatever. I remember I was out there. I was in Oak Cliff, and my cousins they was like, yeah. I was like, y'all still live around the corner? They're like, nah, we moved to Lancaster. I was like, you moved to where? They was like, we moved to Lancaster. I was like, where the fuck is Lancaster? Then I saw it on the map. I was like, y'all live in Lancaster. If y'all don't get the fuck out of here, Lancaster. Nigga. Lancaster. Dallas niggas on. See, Dallas niggas, I love Dallas, but you niggas still wear shags. So I can't expect much in a place where shags are acceptable. I can't expect much when shags, when the haircut of the day is a big ass patch of hair on the back of your neck. I don't like that. I don't like that. I hate them Dallas shags. I'll be like, nigga, Errol Spence is my favorite fighter. The only time I ever wanted him to lose is when he had that shag. He's my favorite fighter, but maybe if he get his ass knocked out, he'll cut that shag off. I was honestly thinking that shit. And that's my favorite fighter on the planet. But cut that shag off. The nigga said he lived in Tyler, Texas for 2 weeks. But are black men always guilty? That's the question. And this is a message for the black men out there. This is a message. You can't be perfect. So don't even try it. See, we see it with the Will Smith thing. Will Smith is somebody that they're angling to make forever guilty. He's going to be forever guilty in the eyes of these crackers. For always. Will Smith lived his life doing everything the right way. And one mistake, which didn't even break any laws, is going to make him forever guilty in the eyes of these people. And what people are going to do in the future. See, the Will Smith thing is still relatively new. In 10 years, Will Smith slapping Chris Rock is going to be equated to some black person in the future that stabs his wife to death with 37 shanks to the rib nest. They're going to conflate some nigga in the future who stabs his wife to death to Will Smith slapping Chris Rock at the Oscars. That's what's coming down the line. You're right, Skew Red. I forgot all about Alec Baldwin. Alec Baldwin all the way fucking killed somebody 2 years ago. He killed a bride. He's going to leave with his humanity. So I asked the question, are we guilty permanently? We don't have to buy into the BS. We don't have to play along with the game. We could talk amongst ourselves about certain things. But as black men, we got to understand that we can't be perfect. So as black men, we got to just live your lives, bro. Be the best man you can be. Try to be better today than you were yesterday. Move forward. Love your woman. If a woman is entrusted you with her heart, take care of it. If you have children, take care of your children. Honor your word. Let your yes be a yes and your no be your no. And do your best, black men. But just know that you can't be perfect. Know that no matter how much you do your best, you're only one accusation that doesn't need to be backed with any level of facts. You're one accusation away from your image, everything you've built being tarnished in the court of public opinion. But the way we can mitigate that is when these black men are on trial in the court of public opinion, we could just not give the energy and use them black men as examples to what's wrong with America. And if somebody wants to use an example to what's going on in America, reroute that energy to Kevin Spacey and Charlie Sheen and Roger Ailes and Donald Trump. You know, the people who really have power to make decisions happen. But I'm about to get the fuck up on out of here. I appreciate y'all for listening, for chilling, for kicking it. Get your car readings, man. My car readings, my prices are about to really go up on my car readings. So if you get one now, you'll get it at the current rate. And only people who are in my Discord moving forward are going to get the current rate one time. So if you want a car reading, get one now, because them rates are about to go up significantly. A nigga's busy, and I'm great at what I do. It's just that, okay, what I offer, if you ain't willing to spend that little bit I'm charging you, then what I have to offer you ain't ready to receive anyway. You dig? That's right, Jay Carter. Yesterday's price, not today's price. All right? But yeah, I appreciate y'all. And yeah, unsubscribe and resubscribe if you ain't getting your notifications. If you want notifications, hit the notification bell. We're here on YouTube. And remember, there are no perfect messengers, only perfect messages for those willing to pick up the game. I'm out, y'all.